Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay. Haha. Good morning, guys. It's like 5:48 my time. There was a notification, just by the way, and good morning to everyone that's coming in, um, for Richard Allen. But Faith just sent me back an email saying that it was filed yesterday, but it's confidential. It says affidavit, but sadly it's confidential. It makes me wonder if because of what's going on, if everything's going to go back to being confidential again. So that sucks. So whatever that is. Anyways, let me just quickly show you what I'm seeing here. Case details, share. Okay. So let's see here. So this is the one right here. It says the 19th, and that's what kind of popped up this morning. Was this status hearing, obviously, and then this affidavit right here filed by Richard Allen. So sadly, it's confidential. But yeah, so that's going to really suck. Good morning, Todd. That's going to really suck, of course, if, everything turns out to be confidential. Obviously, today at 2 p.m. is the hearing, but according to Fox, there's going to be like a 30-minute delay. So in a sense, really 2:30, we should start seeing something. But I'm sure that there's, probably going to be some different, reports in news media, discussing, obviously about the hearing and stuff like that. I don't know what's going to go on today. I guess we'll soon find out in a few hours. Well, more than a few hours, I guess, but definitely a few hours. I just figured that I'd come in this morning. My husband went to work. I was awake anyway. So I was like, you know what the heck? Let's do a morning coffee chatter this morning, because I'm just excited, really, that fact that we're actually going to see, like, at least hopefully maybe in the future, like, that we can actually watch, the trial when it comes about, and, the different court hearings that happen. So that's exciting for the case of Delphi. Instead of everything always being, paper, to physically watch it, like we can watch a lot of other cases, is kind of cool. Anyways, I'm sure everything will go back. It won't shock me, GP, with that, to be honest. And sadly, it's always the same, right? The bad apples always ruin it for the majority of good people that just literally want to report on the case, talk about the case, and then those bad apples that have to sit there and, leak information. And when it's like, it's one thing when it's a YouTuber, or something like that when they're leaking. It doesn't seem to be to me on that same pedestal that when it's literally coming from the lawyers, of the defense, you know, whole different ball of wax. So obviously that's what's going on recently. And, we'll see what Judge Gull has to say today. So, it's just too bad that the bad apples always have to ruin it for the good, but it always happens. It never fails, does it? Never fails. But anyways, good morning, you guys. Hi, Frederica. How are you? And again, GP's in the house and all that. So, um, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or whatever. I don't usually do morning chitter chatters, but I thought, what the heck? I got my coffee. It's I think you guys, it's hard to see it, but it's Winnie the Pooh. I'm not a Taurus. I'm a Cancer, but it has Taurus. But I think it was just because I liked the cup when I was in a Disney store. When they used to have Disney stores, I don't know that they have them here in Canada so much anymore. But there used to be like the Disney store, like in the Burnaby Mall, anyway. And then that went gone. But anyways, I love Disneyland. Good morning, Jacqueline. How are you? Um, So again, if you guys have any thoughts of anything that you guys want to talk about, just feel free to put it in the chat for those anyone coming in now, or just talking about, that there was an affidavit filed by Richard Allen, and Faith was, of course, kind enough to send me an email. Um, yeah, and she's so good. It used to be Brandy, that would send the documents. Now it's a lady that's named Faith, Butcher, I believe it is. Anyways, so whenever I want documents, I just email the first, uh, what is it, first Carroll County Court or whatever it is, email whenever a document comes out. And she's always really great. Like I said, always appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then she always will send a reply saying, "You're so welcome," like she just did right now. Love the coffee cup. Yeah. I made an extra big one too. In the morning, like for me, I wake up and the air conditioner's going, and then I get cold, so I turn it off. And this morning, I just felt like making a big cup of coffee for this, kind of hence why, you know, the whole coffee cup in the background and behind me here this morning. Can't wait to see what happens today. Morning, Alexa. See, it's 6 o'clock here, or 5:54 here, but everything we pretty much do is Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 hours different. So it's really like 9 o'clock for you guys. For me, it's still like whatever. I think I woke up around 2:30 or something, and then I just started watching whatever, listening to stuff on my iPad, looking around. Then it was time. Then I snuck up, made my husband a lunch, quietly, because I kind of forgot to do it yesterday after the live. And anyway, sorry, then I did that, and then I was just, husband had to get up, at 4:30 or whatever, and I was like, heck, I'm just gonna do a live. I'm wide awake pretty much here. Thought I'd have some morning chatter before starting my day. Yeah. Don't worry, Alexa. I got your day covered for you. I'll drink the coffee. So, Alexa, she should be, uh, Alexa. Oh, I need to send you guys the link now that I think about it. I need to send Alexa and Deb the link for the live later, which starts at 11. I might do it sooner if I see things happening. Although the court starts at 2, but again, there's that 30-minute delay that's going to go on. Again, it's like from a pool feed. But anyways, so Alexa and Deb, she'll be joining us at that time. But like I said, I might, it just depends on what's going on. I might start it earlier if there's stuff being talked about in news and stuff like that. There's a lot of that going on, you know. I don't know. First drink of the day has, you know what, Jackie? I'm not gonna lie. I was opting between PJ. No, my husband gets mad at me when I say it wrong. Yeah, PQ, PJ. Shoot, I can picture it. It's a British tea. PQ, PJ, PQ, PQ or PJ, one of the two. It's red, green box and white, whatever it is. If you're British, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I was literally looking at that box of tea, then the coffee, and I said, no, I gotta have a coffee because that's what I basically was doing the live was a coffee. So I'd feel like I was, not doing the right thing if I had a tea instead of a coffee. PG tips. That's it, Jackie. You know it. PG tips. Yeah. When we were in Walmart the other day, because sometimes my husband forgets. And it's not exactly easy to find over here, but Walmart usually has it. But like there was like one box. Normally, when we go, I'll usually grab two boxes, right? That way you don't have to worry about it for quite a while. But anyways, but yeah, there was just one box. And yeah, I actually quite like it as well. Um, hey, Jeff, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Have to go to the doctor's, but saying good morning. Hey, Lisa. Well, hopefully it's nothing too serious. And so have fun at the doctor's, right? Yeah. Anyways, okay. So again, you know what? There's been a few things going on, not just with Delphi, but also with, oh my goodness, like the whole Rex Heuermann thing, the conference that I listened to yesterday. If any of you guys are following the Rex Heuermann case as well, there was this shocking conference yesterday with what's his name? Something something Ray, whatever his name is. The lawyer for Shannon Gilbert. But anyways, that was quite the shocking news because that information then would go to that rumor back a few months ago where it said that there was basically ladies of the night. Hi, Lakeside Justice. Good morning. Is that RH is pure BS? I don't believe, right? Why? Why wouldn't you believe when he's literally standing beside that whatever it is? Who's the guy that was beside him, Alexa? Wasn't he like a sheriff or something like that? I don't know. I believe it. I'm actually shocked that you're saying that it's pure BS. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I personally don't believe it's pure BS. But I'd say if you're following the case, go watch that conference. And I had to go make a new pot of coffee on my second pot now on there. Okay, so let me just share this. Um, Where is it? Where are you? Let me just find it. It's I got too many tabs open. Here it is. Okay, so right here is the affidavit for the one witness. And it's like 6 pages long. I did put it on Twitter. And yeah, I believe him. The other guy is Rodney. Okay. He put it in a sworn affidavit. Yeah, this is like the affidavit for the one that's like said 6 pages long. I did put it on my Twitter, and I did where else? I shared it somewhere else, I believe. But definitely on Twitter. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, and you do have Twitter, it's a criming shame. You can find it. Actually, all the links are always in the description of a live or a video. So you can always find all that links there. And by the way, I want to thank someone. That's the actual person's got their name as someone. Someone had bought like 5 coffees the other day, and the name came up as someone. But I want to thank someone as well because after the live, I heard the OBS going off, which is StreamYard. No, sorry, Streamlabs. I always get the two mixed up. And they bought it's a crime and shame mug, and tipped $3. So I want to say thank you to someone for buying that. Actually, that's probably I think the first mug that was bought. It's a crime and shame mug. So thank you very much for doing that. But anyway, yeah, so all the merch, all the links, everything is always in the description of the videos. So I will, you know what I'll do with this affidavit for people that want to read this. Um, let me quickly, where is it? Hold on. I'm just gonna copy and I'm just gonna put it into the description of this video. So I'm just gonna quickly, sorry guys, just gonna go quickly do that. So let's see, we'll put it underneath of the, or just underneath of the documentary stuff. So if anyone does want to go read that, I just put it in there now, okay? So it's in the description for you guys. Yeah, he is known for lying. Well, the first affidavit is pure BS. I don't feel that way at all myself, but thank goodness we're all entitled to our opinions. I can't see that it's on an affidavit, and like I said, that Rodney guy that's standing beside him. Do you honestly think that he would be standing beside him if he thought that it was BS and stuff like that? So I personally don't believe it's BS. Claims, I bet you $100 nothing comes from this. Well, what about back when the rumor was talked about, though, Alexa? Um, I kind of blew it off then because it was like Rex Heuermann's wife was upstairs while ladies of the night were downstairs and she knew it and stuff like that. And that was from like months ago. So maybe we should have a $1 bet. Rodney Harrison is the thank you, police commissioner. I was struggling to find the right word there. Suffolk County, very large agency. Yeah. Does anyone know the name of the league? Lakeside Justice? Yes. Someone in the video, not the live, but the video. It was like about a 3-minute video or something yesterday. Somebody asked me what the person's, they said the person's first name, and they said, "Are you referring to M?" And I said, and then they said, like, they put the first name, and I said yes. So that's all I'm really going to say for that, just because Lakeside, um, you know, allegedly, right? Because it's not been like, say, proven. Um, you know, Murder Sheets talked about how they, investigated it and talked to people and whatever, but they were just using the R and M, and it's not. So MW is the initials of the supposed bleak person from the defense lawyers that worked for him up until 2019. Okay, but obviously I think that they remain friends and et cetera, et cetera. So however, say MW got those, but just know that there is a Maxwell Wiley, and that's not the person that we're referring to. He might have the same initials, and he works for the defense, at the criminal defense team, but that's not who we're referring to. This is, like MI. But you can go look at that video that has where somebody asked me the name, or said, "Is this the name you're talking about?" And I just said yes to it. But it doesn't have the last name, but it has the first name. Again, this person, worked in the law firm. However, this person, say, if that's the person, then they, obviously got it through maybe having, as we were discussing yesterday, through, a portal, and maybe he still had the password, to get in there and stuff like that. So, either way, so there's an investigation into it, of course, because, I just find it ironic that he is ethics and what was it? Ethics and let me just take a look. Shoot, I think I still have it open. I still have it open? I got too many tabs open. Hold on. Let me shut down some. I gotta shut down some tabs right now. I just got too many open. I don't know. Well, ethics and what was the word? Ethics and something. Ethics. I can't think of it all of a sudden. But anyways, so I just find it ironic that pretty much goes against every ethic, leaking crime scene photos, doesn't it? But anyways, I was wondering to look for him in court today. Oh, I can bet your bottom dollar that that person is not going to be in court today. No. And from what I can see, besides his Instagram being up, everything else, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, like every time you go there, it's like 404. Got a 404 over. Mm-hmm. I think his wife knew he was. Well, that's just it. That's what I was going to talk about. So, you know, from the information that was said at the press conference, like the one thing that would stand out, and this is back to the Rex Heuermann guys. You know, I'm Freckle Joy. I was thinking the same thing. I'm wondering if it's one of those things. You know, I'm just excited to see it live. You know, like to be able to visually see inside the courtroom. That's the part that I'm excited about. Whatever happens inside the courtroom with some, if an attorney gets, you know, pulled off the case or just, you know, a butt lashing type of thing, whatever happens, happens. I'm just glad that we're gonna, you know, finally physically see something, you know, from inside the courtroom to do with Delphi. Um, but so do it. So so for Rex Heuermann, so if what these witnesses say is true, because there was 4 witnesses, but I think 2 of them had affidavits. That would mean that, and I'm sorry because I can't think of her name. I think it was it Vega, Vega. Oh, I can't think of the name. Sorry, guys, wasn't prepared to kind of bring that one up, but Vega. I want to say, if you guys know the name, just say it to me. But anyways, so that would mean then if that information comes to fruition, that means that the wife obviously would have known something. Like if this lady that's at her house turns up, you know, dead. So unless she's oblivious and underneath of a rock. And isn't it crazy? Like still, okay, Alexa, don't listen right now. So don't you think it's crazy though, like that like that these people like that they went to this la place or whatever, where right near where Rex Heuermann's office is in New York there, and they're like swingers, swappers, and then they're talking about that Rex is having sex with, you know, a dude, and that the wife wouldn't have sex because this woman was biracial or whatever it was, and just is all I can say. that's all, that's all I can think about is he's talking about that part. I'm just picturing both of them because I'm sorry, but neither one are really attractive to me, and I'm just like, bleh. But mind you, I guess this was a long time ago. It's just when I look, you know, when you know that something happened, it's hard to sit there and just, besides wanting to upchuck, you know. Anyways, I think it was very interesting for sure. And I'm more prone to believe that the information is true, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say, like, there's the ones that's like, to me, the ones that signed did an affidavit versus, say, the witnesses that don't. But either way, I always personally felt that Shannon Gilbert was tied to Rex Heuermann. So let's just see. No, Vergata. Hey, hey, Danny. What's up? What's up? I seen the start of your intro there. Um, you were playing Sleuth Intuitions Patrick Westfall, that video. and I was watching your intro with the DTS and the green and stuff like that. Anyways, that was cool. Like that. I get my car back today, so I probably will miss it. Um, yeah, yeah, I forgot. God, I wish I could think of the name. I just like, yeah, yeah. um, it's not Judge Judy. It's not going to just start yelling at people. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she will. Depends how upset she is. I don't know her personality besides obviously, she seems to be a very decent judge. So could be Judge Judy. You don't know. I don't know. Unless I specifically have saw her in court before and watched her lose it. I was watching this one judge on. I was watching some shorts this morning, and I was watching this one judge just lose it on the defend. Was it the prosecution side? Anyways, he just lashed right into her and said, you know, like when he was sentenced or whatever, and the judge starts to laugh. She said something like, "Thank Jesus," and the judge just looks at her and goes, "This is all your fault, by the way, because you allowed." This person to do this to your children and did. Oh, he was like right up her butt and down the other side of it. Um, I was wondering to okay, you said that. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think anything will happen today? I definitely think something will happen. Daniel, I like there was an affidavit from Richard Allen that came out when I requested it this morning. Faith said that it was confidential. So, good morning, Lake Michigan. So so that could be a trend of things to come of everything going back to confidential because of these leaks because the bad apples ruin it for all the good apples. So like meaning that shouldn't have been confidential normally, the affidavit. So um I had a stroke a month and a half ago and slammed my car into a wall. Wow. It has been in the shop. Wow. Sorry to hear that, Freckle Joy. That's not good. Um for you to have a stroke at your age. Yeah. You got some tests going on? I don't think Baldwin will be fired despite what everyone else thinks. I don't I'm not hell bent on thinking that Baldwin's going to get fired. Like meaning I was listening to a lot of lawyers because there was, like court TV will have three lawyers on or um uh, surviving the survivor had three lawyers, Bob Motta, his wife, and this other lady and stuff like that. And it seems like if anything that they feel like the defense needs to be, like sanctioned or that something should happen because at the end of the day it falls back regardless, right? um if you if you forgot to take away somebody's password, should that be the way that this person retrieved those leaked photos? um and that is the firm's fault. So should something happen, obviously, yeah. Do I think that Baldwin is gonna get pulled off the case? Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know if I feel like the judge wants to do that, considering that the trial's around the corner. The families have suffered for a long time, and this would put a wrench in it, and I don't know how much a judge thinks about stuff like that. But I kind of am like Freckle Joy. I'm not sure if there's more of a buildup than what's actually going to happen today. But in a few hours, we'll find out, right? So I hope and pray. Well, I think, like, I don't know nothing about lawyers and, when it comes to leak photos, and the defense now a few times being leaked, considering that there's a gag order on and stuff like that. Oh, Drunk Turkey Show, Aunt of Koberger comes forward and talks guilt. Yeah, I was watching something last night about Koberger and the aunt coming forward. I think it was about 5 minutes long, whatever I was watching. Um, I would definitely like to see something happen. But you know what? I guess your guess is as good as mine on what might or might not happen today. Are you? That's good. Good, good, good. Baldwin should be removed and investigated. Well, I mean, there is an investigation going into the crime scene photo leak, obviously. Um, I think Baldwin's attorney had him plead the fifth. He will be removed. Well, we'll see, eh? Like, we're definitely going to find out something today, I believe, eh? I'm not mad at Baldwin, really. Passwords and employees' access is always complicated. Um, I'm going to totally disagree with that sentence right there. Um, I don't think it's complicated. I've been a general manager. I've had to deal with everything, all aspects of paperwork and passwords and stuff like that. And I want to tell you, I don't forget stuff like that myself. And lawyers, I mean, come on, like, you know, kind of different tiers there. I would never expect lawyers to forget to take away somebody's password and stuff like that. It's kind of like one of those immediate things that you do when you're letting somebody go or somebody leaves and stuff. But I'll tell you, um, when I was the general manager, well, me and my husband of the hotel, they forgot to take away my password. So I kept getting the emails. The housekeeper, now this one housekeeper, um, she would also keep sending me information. What I thought was funny about that, and this is why I sometimes just really can't stand people. So what was really funny about that is that she kept sending me like this information, and I could access. Sorry, I didn't access it. I could, but it was more that I still would get the emails coming in, so I could still look at different things going on, and but she kept sending me this stuff, and then one day she had the nerve to say to me, like, will you quit bringing up about the hotel and the conversations? And I'm like, this is where I think somebody is normal. And I'm like, because people have done this before, they flip their freaking head switch or something. And I'm like, hold on a second. You're the one that keeps messaging me for months saying how much you hate Eric and this and that and blah, 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 blah. I'm the one tired of listening to it, to be honest with you. And then that created never talking to this person again moment. Because I just can't handle that. It's just like, you keep sending me stuff. You keep talking about how much you hate it there, blah, blah, blah. You keep sending me information. I'm the one that's sick and tired of listening to you talk about it. But okay. So she twisted it back on me as if I was the one bringing it up. I could have cared less, really, because once I leave something, I really could care less about it. And that's exactly what happened. They were taking advantage of our wages, of just everything really, because of the oil um, recession going on and stuff like that. So basically, it was kind of like normally a general manager by itself would get paid like 80K a year, and they were paying us both like 40K a year and blah 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 blah. Anyways, 24/7, we got robbed twice. Got the hotel was shot at in the backside by a rifle, couple like through the door. Yeah, right. Lloydminster, take your fucking criminal ass self and get out of our lives. You are not worth it. Like 40K a year for general managers, restaurant managers, the pool managers, like everything. We were 24/7, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, for what? My front desk staff made more. I paid them more than what I got paid, which is pathetic. But anyways, so you would think that they would have been smart enough to remember to change the password so I didn't have access, but they didn't, and then they tried to intimidate me. I remember like the CEO tried to intimidate me and said something like going into the police file. Because I remember saying a comment, it was kind of like a sarcastic comment. And then he's like going into the police file. And I said, but he'd already told me the story, how they tried to intimidate people by saying that. So I sent back another message and I said, going into my LOL file, and then that was the last I ever said anything, because it just amazes me. Anyway, so me and my husband, we just shook our head and was like, yeah, okay, have a good one. I think if Baldwin's attorney had him plead the fifth, he would be removed. Okay, you said that. I just meant due to the other leaks, as this is the third leak in 6 months by the defense. Is it the third leak? I thought it was only the second leak. Is it the third? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of a smart ass that way. I don't know. How many leaks has there been, guys? I thought there was just 2. Has there been 3? Either way, one leak is bad enough. But then when it consistently happens, then you have to be like, okay, are you purposely trying to, I don't know. Obviously, the memorandum was to try to throw doubt in the whole thing. Why does everyone say that wrong? Like, it's very rare that most people remember it. It's 136 pages. I've heard 137, 135, 139. And I think maybe that's because always something sticks in my head. And when I see the pages, when I'm looking at a PDF, and I'm like, oh, shoot, 136 pages. Anyways, right. Well, right, because that really shouldn't have been put out, right? And all it was this bunch of bull crap. I don't want to say it was fully a bunch of bull crap. Good morning, Charmaine. I don't want to say it was a bunch of bull crap completely, because obviously there is stuff in there that, obviously from the prosecution that they're putting in there, to talk about it. But the thing is that they literally took the pictures and they deciphered them how they wanted to decipher them. And then they created that story. One man alone, one man alone. How do they know what order it happened in? Obviously there's going to be reports from LE, but I'm sorry. If the LE took pretty much 6 years to even arrest Richard Allen, both sides can STF you really on that, because both, like, LE is being very incompetent. And actually, for me personally, I'm impressed with McClelland on how things are going. For me personally, that's how I feel. And the defense, well, like I said, I get that they're just trying to throw every freaking, orange or apple or whatever, just try to get people to think about the Odinism line and that reasonable doubt. Simple as that. Get it out there to the public, because at some point, the people that are on the jury pool, a lot of them will have heard of Delphi. Some of them won't have, I'm sure. I mean, Delphi is big, but if you're not into true crime and you don't watch the news too much and stuff like that, then you're not really going to know about the Delphi case, even though it's been going on for 6 years. And, well, I guess we're coming up to 7 years almost, aren't we? So as much as I kind of laugh at that whole memorandum in a lot of ways, they took, LE was not there to know exactly what happened. If they did, someone would have been arrested a long freaking ass time ago. And it's kind of like, okay, so if Abby, say, had on the black sweatshirt or the jeans of Libby's and stuff like that, I mean, obviously they can say that they were both undressed and Abby was redressed. That can definitely be said then, because that would be true. But they did a play by play as if they knew the exact timeline of everything. And then they took photos and clearly made it into Odinism, and yet there's not one Odinist person out there claiming that those sticks look like anything to do with Odinism. And then you have the news reporting that confirmed Odinism. And yet in the affidavits, nowhere does it say by those two officers, correctional officers, both of them clearly say that uh, they're not into Odinism. Yeah, I like the one thing that probably pissed me off the most, Anthony, with watching Patrick. I didn't watch the first one, I watched the second one. Um is the fact of watching Patrick, to a diabetic, keep putting licorice in his mouth as he was talking. I was like, dude, you don't know how much I love licorice. And I'm watching him just plaster it into his mouth. That part pissed me off. Other than that, I like someone that speaks freely and, just talks off their tongue in a sense. I just like truth and transparency. And, like, not always can YouTube creators say everything, right? It's just not going to happen because you make commitments to other creators, or that you're not going to, you know, say their name or say that where you got it from and stuff like that. But it's like someone, if they want to ask me about my life and stuff like that, or I'll just sit there and tell you. I don't really care. I don't think that I have to think about what I have to say. I just like things that are genuine. So when he was talking, I mean, you can tell by his language, even he's just being himself. And I always like people that just be themselves. They don't try to be something that they're not. They don't try to kiss people's butts, for the sake of freaking subscriptions and stuff like that. I just like genuine, authentic people. That's my thing. So that's what I really appreciated about that that interview, is listening to Patrick um, talk about that, you know, and answering uh, people's questions from the chat and stuff like that. Hi, Cecil Hotel. How are you? Um, in my information, it's so unfortunate that the memo was so muddled with the Odinism crap when the actual Frank's hearing motion information could have been compelling on its own. They should have done that differently. Yeah, and I believe that they said that same thing on, I think it was Surviving the Survivor. The one lawyer said that same thing, I believe it was. Just, you know, put out the information and leave out the whole Odinism thing and whatever. For me personally, like I said, the end goal here is to get their client off. Um, like I said, they took the whole thing, they moved it all the way along up until the confession. Okay, so I don't understand why people just keep saying that it was the wife. He told the mother and the wife he confessed to, and again, um, they just literally sold a story or tried to sell a story. So now for weeks and weeks and weeks now, a few weeks, it's all been this Odinism talk and blah blah blah. You know, I just hope people's brain power sees right through the crap of this. I mean, you can't fix, stupid, first of all, so you can't even try there. But for people that kind of even have common sense, even if they don't believe that Richard Allen is the BG, that they can still see like through this. And for me, anyone still on Ron Logan's, BG thing, go get your brain checked. Seriously, go for a medical examination, because that is just so ridiculous to me now, especially after, Richard Allen came out, like, meaning that a picture of him came out, and you look at the BG's size and stuff like that, and I get it. I get that Ron Logan had a jacket and a hat that, is similar to what people are saying the BG is, but I'm pretty sure that Ron Logan's jacket wasn't a Carhartt that he had on, even though it was a similar blue one. But I'm just meaning, you know, that one to me is still, you guys can think it's Ron Logan, whoever still wants to think that. I'm sorry. Um, that one's just ridiculous to me. That Ron Logan is still being considered a BG. It just, yeah, doesn't make sense. Um, Sonny, you didn't find him to hesitate to answer some of the questions? Um, I no, there was definite pauses there. I felt like there was pauses, but I think that the pauses were him just kind of like thinking of the answer. And again, I think it's with anything, is that, like if I could say sometimes what I want to say out of my mouth, well, I'd be booted off my channel real fast, so I have to hold back, um, because for that sake. But I felt like he was stopping, but it's kind of like, hmm. So no, I wasn't sitting there feeling like there was this awkward moment or anything where he was too much hesitating. I think sometimes you have to be careful about sometimes what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Um, but other than that, not really. I mean, he was just really popping back his licorice, going, "Nope, never heard of Brandon Woodhouse. Nope." Talks about Brad Holder, stuff like that, because that he knows of. Never heard of Derek German, da 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 da. I don't know. I felt it as authentic as it could be. Yeah. Streamlabs just gave my DNA. Thanks, Cecil. PW seemed to be lying quite a bit on questions. I'm not sure why you feel that way. I mean, obviously you can feel that way. Maybe, maybe he wasn't being as forthcoming or not. I don't know. I mean, to me, he's just coming off like, ask me a question and I'll give you the answer. That's how I took it. Okay. My thoughts on Elvis Fields. I literally have no thoughts about Elvis Fields. I still don't care about Elvis Fields myself. What do you guys in chat feel about Elvis Fields? Does anyone here? I know Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show, he's asked us a couple times about that. And he's asked me personally in Messenger. I don't feel like Elvis Fields has anything to do with it whatsoever. What are your guys' thoughts that are in chat, though? I'll just see what you guys have to say. If you believe that Elvis Fields is involved somehow, you know, maybe just put 1 if you think Elvis Fields is involved somehow, or 2 if you don't. There are 4 types of false confessions. He would be considered voluntary, which studies show come from being solitary and going through psychopathy. Okay. Is there 4 types? I didn't actually know. Thank you, AJ. You got a beautiful smile there, AJ. Beautiful face. But you have to know. But you'd have to know the how and why to know he was lying. Or that's what I figure. You know, don't know the guy personally. I'm just going by, my own personal read of how when I listen to somebody, it's kind of like if I watch a creator, right? I'm like, oh, you're a douche. Oh, you're good. Oh, this is a good podcast. Oh, you're a money grubbing, blah, 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 blah. It's instantly, I instantly judge on somebody about who they are as a person. My mouth goes faster than my brain. Mine does too. My foot's been in my mouth multiple times. But I don't regret being just an honest person. Like, I don't regret it. I've learned to feel maybe like my honesty came from the fact of people would ask you something. I'll use my twin for example. Are my thighs too big? Am I doing? No. Okay. After like 1,000 times of her saying that, finally it's like, yes, you're fat, you're ugly, freaking can't stand looking at you. Okay. But when people ask questions and then they don't want to hear the truth and then they get pissy at you, and stuff like that. I just really got tired of people's bull crap with sitting there lying to me, and I know that they're lying to me. And, so I just kind of, like I said, I just like truthfulness and honesty. It's like, you know, I just like people being genuine and authentic to who they are, knowing that you can't always say what you want. There's some people I've met that are like that, but they really cross the rudeness borderline. Like they're just more ignorant and rude. I never ever intend to hurt anyone. No, I don't want to say that. That would be a lie. I mostly never intend to hurt anyone with words or anything on purpose. I just don't like bullshit, or people that try to shove their freaking, Bible down my throat or their freaking religion down my throat or, like anything down my throat. Or my morals about what my morals should be like. Don't tell me what to do, just like I won't tell you what to do, but I will tell you that you know, if you're not a decent person and you're just a troll and come here to cause trouble, your butt's going to get booted out of here so fast. Um, but I don't know. Mm. And I know that sometimes typing can get a little bit different. You don't get your patch removed by someone. It has to be done by the group, a group vote by leadership. Um, yeah, I was, I think it was that Patrick Westfall that was talking about that, right? Remove somebody's patch and something about, what's the word? I can't think of the two words that start with P. Probate and stuff like that. No, I don't think Elvis is involved. His statement to the investigators, knowing the details of the crime scene causes, right? And I think that's what's doing it for Daniel as well. And I will speak for Daniel. No, just kidding. I won't speak for Daniel, but that's the feeling I get from Daniel is that because of certain things that were said, um, that that's what's making him pause for thought. And a lot of people, um, it still makes me laugh to no end, though, when people go, well, the sister passed the polygraph. I don't actually give a crap if his sister passed the polygraph because she was just repeating to whatever questions they ask, you know. I don't think I honestly just don't know that Elvis had anything to do with it. When I've been looking at people, I keep seeing the last name Fields on certain people's, you know, Facebooks and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, is there a little connection there somehow because of the Elvis Fields? So there's a little piece of me that if I happen to catch the name Fields, I kind of go, oh, does this person go back to Elvis? That guy has multiple Facebooks, doesn't he? Okay. Oh, here. What is it? I can't get past the whole thing of putting horns on Abby because she's a troublemaker. Um, I guess I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Rick Snay. Um, that said something like, well, I wouldn't call them horns. I'd call them, if anything, antennas. Um, yeah. What's funny? In a sense, is that this psychic lady, she reached out to me, right? This is a couple, but what, a year and a half, 2 years ago now. Um, and one of the things that Holman had asked her was how were the bodies moved? That was the main thing was how did they enter or exit as well. But I remember when she told me that one of the visions was that they were dressed like deer. Um, so I couldn't help but think about that, when they were talking about horns or antlers. But then, like I said, Rick Snay said, well, it was more like antennas. So unless you've like legit seen the pictures yourself, then I guess you could make your own opinion on that. But I just don't believe that. Like for me, and I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like I'd be wasting my breath if I put too much effort into Elvis Fields. Just like really talking about Odinism. I don't mind talking about it, to sit there and say what a bunch of bullcrap it is. Considering, like I said, if it was Odinism, I can see it being set to look like ritualistic. That I can go with. That I can fly with. But when people from that are an Odinist are literally telling you that that's not how they would do things, that they would carve runes into a stick, they wouldn't be laying them on people and stuff like that. That would be like an amateur, right? Someone that didn't know what the heck that they were doing. Um, so that part I can buy, with Ives saying it was meant to look a certain way, but it never led to anyone. But the whole Odinist crap, I don't mind talking about it, just to say how much I think that whole Odinism part is a bunch of malarkey and crap. And that hopefully people don't fall for that. But again, someone could totally think I'm totally wrong on that Odinism has everything to do with it. And at the end of the day, bottom line is, at one point in time, things will come out in trial, right? And then stuff that will be sitting there going, ooh, oh, they had that. Okay, okay, Elvis. Why anyone bring him to a crime scene? He is very handicapped. How he knew what he did is puzzling. I don't know. I just Elvis Fields isn't on my personal radar. I think that the more that we're involved, well, that's just it, right? And that's what we always have to keep in our mind, right, AJ? Is that I can see a brotherhood happening, or a gang where they just don't speak, you don't speak and stuff like that. But then you kind of look at the DNA and go, well, like what DNA was really there. A couple times they've talked about DNA and hair fiber, and stuff like that. But when there's multiple people involved, you're more likely to leave DNA or somebody think on that person, because at some point, you know how it is, right? You can barely, like, the only person you can really trust is really yourself. That's it. Okay. Husband can always turn on you. Family can easily turn on you. Depends what it is. There is a reward. There is a hefty reward for Delphi, and there would be somebody greedy enough to sit there and be like, they probably wouldn't get the reward because they were criminals themselves, but who knows? All I know is, um, as much as it's hard for me to believe it's Richard Allen, because I just can't see little dwarf gnome there, um, which is 5'4", according to still all the stuff. Um, I just like I'd have to know the side of him where he's sitting at home, you know, sitting there, but if he was on the computer, so it's a matter of if the defense just didn't come across that information yet, or if there's legitly nothing on Richard Allen's computer or devices that even attach to anything to do with ritualistic or you know perverse things for children, or like usually someone has it in their Google search, right? Richard Allen, I believe Richard Allen is smarter. I believe he's smarter in the electronic area, but I don't think he's that bright. But I do think that he does have, when somebody has their forte, and he's working at CVS, and I'm sure he was probably actually good with electronics and different things. To be honest, I always get that vibe. I don't know for sure, but I get that vibe. But there would be something, So unless the defense just never came across it at that point, considering all the information that was dumped, but that would be something, really important because everyone knows, forgets, like that there's a freaking camera down the street looking at you. There's like we're so in a world full of, can't really do anything without some sort of fingerprint being left. So, and we all know that if there was, I don't know, like, like where did Elvis Fields come out of all this? I don't know. I don't see it myself. It's weird how Elvis knew what he knew, but maybe someone told that. Who knows? Okay, can someone precisely tell me in chat what Elvis said about what he knew? You know, I mean, if he was describing the whole crime scene and stuff like that, okay. But for me, like, I don't know. But I just can't remember everything that Elvis said. So if somebody could just put that in chat for me, that would be great. I'm not saying he wasn't, even if you just copy and paste it from the memorandum. I'm not saying he wasn't telling the truth on most things. I'm saying he's definitely not telling the whole truth about Holder. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I'm sure he was holding back on Holder stuff. You know, I think that he was saying stuff, but I also think that, it's kind of like, well, what should, I definitely think he was holding some stuff back. You're not going to put out your full entire laundry out there. Um, but I think he did a good job at putting most things like just straight up out there. Which has nothing to do with the 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. I remember that one, AJ. That's right. That's right. If it's involved in organism, it was framed and staged that way in my hand. Well, the thing is that there's nothing necessary. That's just it. There's nothing, zip, zero, nothing to tie in Odinism to the crime scene besides the defense, having their own perception. And that I can understand, right? Again, they heard about the Odinism angle because of those YouTube creators that are stuffing information that to help the defense out. And hey, you know what? If that's their thing, you know, enjoy. If that person, if a YouTube creator really doesn't think that Richard Allen is the right guy and they want to help the defense, whatever, go to town, right? So Odinism, we had talked about quite a while, like a long time ago, because Odinism was talked about with Delphi. People saying that, this or that, and Odinism, ritualistic and stuff like that about the Odinism in Delphi. Um, the thing is that there's truly nothing to connect the crime scene to Odinism. And the Odinists are saying, nope. I think I'm blurry. I feel like I'm blurry. 1 second here. Actually, just give me 1 second. Okay, my bad. So no, I still think I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes are blurry. I don't know. um, but yeah, so there's nothing, right? There's nothing really. So if Odinist can't even sit there and say that those sticks meant anything, you know, um, that's good enough for me if I've heard it enough times, and that there's literally nothing besides them taking um from a YouTube creator, because that's where that would have come from, is a YouTube creator in my eyes. Because do you honestly think that the defense really knew about that too well and stuff like that? That was just someone that, just like we have talked about Odinism, because that was what was being talked about with the true crime sleuths and stuff like that, and then someone bringing that line up, and oh, well, that seems like the best way to go. And that's all to me that is that they just ran with the whole Odinism. They literally took it, tried to make it seem a certain way, and then at the end they polished it off in a really bad way, with, well, these Odinist guards were watching him and forced him to call his wife and tell her 5 times, whatever, that, you know, he did it. And then they forced him to call them mother up too, and tell her that he's guilty and stuff like that. Richard Allen, whether it was just him, but chances are this is gonna probably be a Richard Allen only thing. As much as maybe I think a lot of us keep thinking that there's no way that this one person did this. And I guess and to me, that was always about like the crime scene to me and certain things that have been said, that if, depending on what's at the crime scene, and just going by, what things have been said about, you know, toys and cleaner bottles and, this hanging from a tree and stuff like that. So, and so from what I've been told, okay, so what I've been told was, um, that the photos of these crime photo leaks are like more like close-ups, where it's not like you're not looking at the entire crime scene. So, the crime scene has always meant a lot to me because I always felt like if we knew what was there, it would help myself, um, see if this was more of one person or two people or whatever. I always have thought that it was at least like two or three people. But realistic wise, you know, like I said, you had like Chris Mathis talking about it. You had Garrett Kurtz talking about it. You had Nick Edwards, saying to me about Sheena Cottrell, saying that she was there when CJ Palladino, like you have all these people talking about it. So either they're just a bunch of druggies just trying to throw people underneath the bus, but in my head, it's like, it's hard to comprehend that one person did it, but yet it's highly plausible. I just have a hard time. I'd have to know Richard Allen and what kind of sick, twisted, like how, like if he had a Facebook, and something like that, where you could kind of look at somebody's profile and pictures and kind of get a gist. So if you saw stuff like ritual stuff and, or these really gory movies that he's saying that they watched and stuff like that, okay. Um, do I believe it's Richard Allen on the bridge? Yes. I guess the story will tell itself. Don't get me wrong. I think Ari evolved. Is it possible there was another person there with him? You know, Delphi is so ridiculously crazy. Um, I've always had gone with the fact that this is something towards Libby's father, Derek German, because that always made the most sense. And I would stick with that story, and I've stuck with it the entire time until something could change my mind. I'm more accepting to the fact that this possibly could just be Richard Allen was sick and twisted, and but there's so many things that stop me still from thinking that. Like, what I want to say there is, I guess I would be rude. That's what I've been told. um, there's things that just don't make sense to me. Like, what, say, first of all, so how could they possibly even overlook Richard Allen and literally put up the BG's thing? And yet he had talked to that Dan Doolin person, and that all these years go by, and that this person, this one male that they see, how does that even make sense? that one of the witnesses says that there's only one male on the thing. Like, how does that even get by all these years, without either just freaking incompetence, total incompetence? Just seems so strange. But why would you, just thinking, right? Why would somebody on a Monday, a day that is a snow day, right? Like, to me, this person would probably have to know that school was out that day, and very well could have. But why would somebody just seemingly, like the one witness said, walk with a purpose? And I've always said that I felt like why would somebody, like, right, walk with a purpose, like that they were on a mission during freaking broad daylight, knowing, I don't know, like, first of all, to me, if you're going to have an Odinism thing, it's probably going to be at nighttime more so. But I guess we've seen it during the day in people's backyards, like Brad Holders, but whatever. But I can't imagine. And then walking down 300, like, do 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 do. Let me just go back to my car that I parked over at the CPS building, do 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 do. But I don't. It just seems so absurd to me that all of these things happened on a Monday, the day that school happened to be out. They race down there basically like they're on a mission. One person take two girls' lives, like, I don't know. Why do I keep finding it so stupid that someone would even park at a CPS building, park the car beside it, and walk all of that way? I would think that they would park on more of the backside somewhere, and kind of be waiting. I don't know. It's just, there's so many absurd things that don't make sense to me, is what I'm saying. I definitely involve. Well, for me, RA is the person on the bridge. And that's about probably all I know. This is what it seems like. I think that, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I don't even want to guess anymore at anything, because it's like wacky racers. Every time you think something, you know, then something else pops along. Just when you think you know Delphi, you realize you don't know nothing about Delphi, in a sense. I guess. Oh yeah, I read that one. I would not take Alice Fields on shoplifting spree. Never mind the double. That's funny. Okay. My mom tells me I get it from my dad. I'm a big a-hole. Well, at least you're self-admitting it, eh? Yeah, but the bodies weren't found immediately. The smaller sticks could have moved a little. Wind and wildlife. I can see smaller sticks moving a little, but I assume there is something above Abby's head. The bodies weren't found immediately. Also, could have moved. I mean, could have. I mean, could have, right? I don't know. How windy it was, and if it was little sticks, I would agree. I would agree. The ground can move and stuff like that. Um, what the heck? Oh, sorry, my husband's posting in the funhouse on there. Oh, Charmaine, I just kind of seen your message now. I'm seeing something that you put about putting the link. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can put a link. You can do whatever you like. Um, yeah, you don't have to ask me for stuff like that. By the way, posting the link and stuff like that. I watched The Drunk Turkey for the first time yesterday and I really enjoyed it. I had a glass of wine with them. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Mm. Although, Daniel, one time I bought you a beer. I think maybe once, maybe twice. One time I bought you a beer and I was waiting for you to tell me in your messenger one day, oh, thank you for buying me a beer. And you never did. Okay. You never did. And I was expecting that message. So if I can just look into my messenger in the next, now this was a couple months ago, but it just reminded me about that. Because I remember buying a beer and I was waiting for Daniel to be like, oh, thanks for buying me a beer. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Right, Big Blue? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, Big Blue's button actually a few copies for us. Uh, these are prison gangs, not scholars. They aren't going to stage a perfect Odin crime scene. Uh, no. But again, I don't think this has anything to do with Odin whatsoever. Turkey, it definitely seems that there's a chance someone helped him. But it's, well, the thing, you look at Kober, you know, to me that there's no other dude that helped him out. It was just him by himself. Um, it was always because the crime scene was talked about of all these kind of different things, like some big bear. Some people would call it a bear, and I'm like, well, if anything, it's a bunny. But then I could also make out the crime scene, like the crime scene person. Like you could legitly make him out taking pictures, and then you wondered if that was actually a scene dude, but not an actual bunny, because you're looking at freaking it was daytime, but the images the Devil's Hop Yard did, right, had to be turned into nighttime in order to show different things. And, so the crime scene to me always meant like how much was there. And I just still remember Julie Melvin saying that there was an item there that was so big, there's no way, or something like that. So, not really sure what that item is. I was just thinking it was the freaking big ass freaking stuffed animal, perhaps, because we've heard of stuffed animals and the shoe hanging tree and different things. So that always kind of always made me, because of a lot of that information, made me definitely feel like it was more than one person, even though I absolutely believe one person could cock a gun and control the girls. It's just that, again, it just really depended what angle. Like nobody here was ever looking. Like we talked about Odinism, but people weren't overly like looking at it. Like I said, I was looking at the drug angle side of it because of the words of Garrett Kurtz and Chris Mathis and Nick Edwards. When somebody is literally talking about a crime and saying things like that Michaela, which is Libby's cousin, that Michaela said that there was so many stab wounds they had to stop counting. Remember Garrett Kurtz said that, right? And now Michaela is Libby's cousin. And Michaela and Garrett Kurtz were like best friends. So when you hear something like that, you're like, okay, well, there's got to be some truth into some of this stuff that's being said. And then when Open Secrets was talking to Garrett about the video, because remember, we can't still forget that the police were looking for someone with a knife collection, some sort of knife collection, and that they were looking for like video, like a video, anyone that purchased a video recorder or whatever. So, where that will all come to fruition, who knows? But when you have Garrett Kurtz saying like to Open Secrets, well, the person to talk about that video is what's her name again? She's got that really weird name. Tasman Taz shit. Oh my god, she has a weird name. Tasman, whatever her name is, something like Tasman or whatever it is. And talk to her, and then you have Nick Edwards sending me, when I ask him, he's literally sends me about Sheena Cottrell. And I mean, it all made sense because Garrett Kurtz is implicating Jason Palladino, who we know should have been charged in part of Nicole Bowen's murder, but he wasn't. We've read, in the whatever it was, the paperwork from of Ashley's side there, where they're talking about how that they were, at his home and they were saying how they needed to get rid of Nicole Bowen. And this is months before it actually happened and stuff like that. And Jason Palladino. So Jason Palladino to me is someone that got lucky that he was never charged for what he should have been charged for. And so when you have Garrett Kurtz implicating Jason Palladino, and you have Nick Edwards saying that Sheena Cottrell and Jason Palladino, they were a couple. And these people are not good people, the Cottrells and stuff like that. Like there's some probably decent ones, I'm sure, in the bunch, but like these people are like druggies, thieves, criminals, blah, 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 blah. And so when you have all that being said, not because I made that up, but that's the stuff that was being said. So it's really easy to think that this was, knowing that Derek German was into methamphetamine and, same with Cody Patty. Um, like that whole thing made sense to me because why would all these people be talking about the Delphi case and implicating each other in a sense? And then, talking about a video, talking about, well, they didn't really besides like talking about Michaela saying that there was so many this. So that's why that always made sense because I didn't grow that out of thin air. I didn't grow, a Daniel Pearson out of thin air and then create a whole freaking storyline, around it, even though Daniel Pearson was like, say, there at some point. But, this was stuff that was being said and those names were being thrown about. And to me, why would you even want to implicate yourself in even knowing about Delphi and stuff like that? So that part always seems strange to me. And that's why, for me, one person, and yet these people are talking about it, but then in your head, you're like, well, these people would rat each other out if for reward money because you can't trust druggies and people that thieve and steal and take people's lives. He claimed to have spit on one of the girls. Right. I remember that statement. Um, sorry, I'm probably way behind on my comments right now. Definitely seem to do. Let's see. I agree from the people who have seen the pics. I'm just not seeing the Odinism, maybe the bloody tree. Oh yeah, the bloody tree as well. Like I said, defense said that it meant Hail Odin between the asterisks and to the other one. But you're not going to mix an elder Firthark with a younger Firthark, right? And sit there and try to create this. First of all, that F is totally going the wrong way. The F means wealth, but the defense said it meant Hail Odin. So right there, they've already, made themselves look like idiots. If they can't even, if they can't look properly or something, at freaking the Elder Firthark, like it's a Google step away, right? So if they can't tell that the upward one means wealth and that the downward one means Odin of that so-called F, and they're saying that it stands for Hail Odin, and yet they can't decipher whatsoever what's on Libby. Like, again, so when you look at those little cracks in their little story there, it says a lot. Like I said, they couldn't even get the Hail Odin part right because they just created that. But again, like that tree, and we can go back to that, I suppose. Oh, I am kind of blurry, I think. Share window. We'll just go to there for a sec. And Here's the tree. Okay. I wonder if, hold on. Wonder one of these. Let's just, yeah, I'll just try to put that in a little bit darker mode here. Okay. Some people are trying to say like it's a handprint. It could be, I suppose. This, for me, this picture here would more remind me of almost if somebody's putting their hand on, say, the tree, and then it's sliding down and their one finger has like blood on it that's drawing a more of a line, if anything. um I can see why someone would go, oh, that looks like enough, but I can also see why someone would say something totally different than that. It's it's almost like, let me just go to this for a second. See, like right here, you know like, where's the blood here to create that full on F? That doesn't make sense to me, right? You don't sit there and miss out putting a line to the F if you're literally making an F. And this would be like more like up here. If this was an Odin F, it would be more, to me, angled. Like this, to me, is an incomplete F. And it's because it's not an F, in my opinion, you know? Um, is it possible someone saw the photos early on and told Elvis? Oh, absolutely. That's possible. We know that there's other photos out there. At least I do, and I've told you guys before, Chris Todd has photos. Um, and so, not that I know that he knows Elvis Field, but I mean, again, you know how it is. It's kind of like these leak photos now, right? What I thought was one of the lawyers, and this is what I'm talking about when a lawyer only knows the surface of Delphi and they're just speaking more as lawyers. And he's like, well, at least it was contained that only 3 people had, photos, and, no real damage has been done. Dude, shut the frick up, okay? Like, probably over 100 people by now have these photos, if not more. Sure, granted, they haven't made it visually to the internet and that they're more kept in the background. Right. And when the dude's sitting there saying 3, I'm like, God, you don't even know this case. Go back to school. But anyways, it's just that it really bugs me when somebody is talking about a case and then there's like so many things that you want to jump on the live and be like, nope, let me just tell you the facts now. Let me just tell you things that obviously you don't know about, but you're speaking about this case, But when it comes to their lawyer stuff and, stuff like that, okay, stick to that. But obviously, you didn't read up on the facts enough to know that, it wasn't contained at 3 people. So, yeah, so that's the same thing with, for instance, Elvis. There's other pictures out there, right? And they circulate because that person trusts this person, right? Remember Julie Melvin, and she gave, I want to say it was to True Crime Garage, those once in a lifetime videos, and then Meow Zendog, I know, had them up on her channel, and then she had them taken down. Now, Julie knew that she was not supposed to give those out, right? That was private information. Hence why, remember not too long ago, they were in transcript form and Rick Snay was going to, I think, air them in a sense, play the audio, and Hannah Shakespeare went basically, I believe, up his butt and once down the other if he was going to do that. But because it was out there, Hannah Shakespeare was like she was, I don't think, too happy, of course, about it, but they went into transcript. And remember, there was all these freaking redacted stuff in it, and it was like reading the weirdest thing, out there. Um, and yet I have those. Um, a lot of people have the audio for those, all because someone decided that they were going to share it because they trusted in somebody, and then that person trusted or maybe was mad at that person and shared it. And that's exactly what happens. We know what happens. For people to keep secrets and stuff like that, or to not share because they trust that person explicitly, in a sense, right? You know, it's rare. It's rare to find someone that legitimately holds true to that word. It's very rare. And then it just spreads out, sometimes at a slower pace and sometimes at a faster pace. But you know, that's all the stuff that always happens. So, and then one minute someone's your friend, next minute they're your freaking enemy. Next minute they're trying to get you in trouble or do this or do that. You know, I just can't stand the bullshit of people like that and stuff like that. That's more or less mostly why I keep to myself. Don't really like to deal too much. There's some really good creators out there that I've come across, and those ones I hold near and dear to my heart because they're showing that they're good people. Right, Danny? From Drunk Turkey Show, Blue, Big Blue, great group of guys. Jeff H, really great person. Deb from Deb's True Crime Notebook, just really. I better not talk about Fig. He's right here. McClellan said other bad actors could be involved. Right, which is standard LE statement prosecutors say during an active investigation. Well, yeah, I mean, mind you, I always thought that other actors were involved before it. But when he said that, everyone was expecting somebody it went along with everything perfectly, that there was more than one person involved. And yet we never heard again of somebody else being involved up to this point. And we probably won't, if I'm honest. Um, Agreed the cemetery or private road. Sorry, what'd you say there? I'm probably way behind in comments, guys. Agree the cemetery or private road. They'd have to know no one was home or coming home. Yeah. I mean, that little cemetery, well, a little cemetery area, has but the thing is, it still can be seen by the road. Anyways, I'm not sure if you're talking about what I was talking about earlier. Um, about like why the frick would you park at the CPS building? Like way the frickin' Tickmandu. One thing to keep in mind: the defense did not come up with the Odinism. Who received it from Ellie? AJ, possibly, but I might disagree on this one. Perhaps, just my own opinion, is that the YouTube creators probably would have given the defense that information first before like the whole Odinism stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fig, but didn't that stuff come up later? And that's why it came out recently. You know, I'm pretty sure a YouTube creator would be the first ones to inform the defense about the whole Odinism angle before discovery had to be turned over. That's my thoughts. I could be wrong. You could be right. Or you could be wrong and I could be right. I don't know. Only because definitely YouTube creators, there's some that, really have their strong beliefs in the whole ritual thing and Odinism. As bad actors doesn't mean murderers. Is anyone who obstructed justice covered for Alan? Yeah, true that. True that. I think sometimes we just kind of get in a tunnel vision sometimes when things are said and don't look at what else it could also mean. Big, you did nothing but get me in trouble with Streamlabs. Like a person giving an alibi. I don't see how no one noticed Alan either. I don't know. What do we got here? My coffee's cold. I'll say that. Sorry, I'm going to scroll down further. Sorry if I'm missing comments right now, but I hate it when I get that far behind. I normally don't. Yeah, are you talking about case by case? The one that's like, is that who you're talking about, GP? Um, so I'm very loosely watching that channel. Um, Ashley Innocent. Yeah, right. Okay, that's funny. Ashley being innocent. That's hilarious. But I do think that Garrett Kurtz is a liar, and I do think that there'll be some truth in to it. But Ashley's a liar too, you know. Um, I think that's who you're talking about. Is that one that's talking with Ashley? Um, like I don't want to put down her channel or nothing because hey, each to their own, right? Um, Of course, Ashley is innocent. She's just a victim, GP Ginger. You know that as well as I do. Ashley, excuse any part of murder she was in. She, of course, didn't get into a fight or she didn't help Garrett Kurtz. You know, sorry. Um, Ashley, there might be some different things in the story that are truer than what, of course, Garrett Kurtz said or what came out and stuff like that. But Ashley is by far no innocent victim of anything. Ashley created her life. Garrett Kurtz created his life. And that's why they sit in prison for all those years. And they can suck it, all of them. He was very helpful at CVS, but he always seemed to be looking down. Gail, Gail, are you just referring to something that you heard, or do you actually live in Delphi and know? Um, well, it sounds like making it's a comment where somebody might live in Delphi and go to the CVS. He was very helpful, or are you repeating it from what you've seen somewhere else? But he always seemed to be looking down. Well, that would be someone with no confidence, really. It's usually what people with insecurities and low confidence do. And then they typically, you know, maybe joke things off. A roly poly short man. He really had, like, he wasn't too hard to, like, meaning when I look back at his, like, Route 66 hat, and his wife and him hiking, he wasn't a horribly looking dude. Now when I look at him, I want to vomit. I can't stand looking at this feeble, I don't think he's faking it. I mean, clearly his life's been freaking, oh, let's just rip your life apart. Finally caught up to you, buddy. And when you go from being out in the free world and living your life, you got a wife and everything you're stripped of all of a sudden, of course you're going to go into depression, unless you're living the life as a criminal and you're so used to going in and out of freaking prisons and jails. To anyone that hasn't lived that life, that's going to be a hella shock. Depression, everything going on. Who wouldn't go through that, to be honest with you? So has he turned into um, fragile, kind of weak looking dude now? Absolutely. Do I feel sorry for him? No, to be honest. Um, I know, I know that okay, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I still call bullshit on that whole sentence, because obviously they would have probable cause to arrest him, but they have to say that. So I get that, but I don't feel badly for him because I believe he's legitimately the guy on the bridge, and I don't think he's being, abused. And like, I think that there's always usually comments that are thrown out there for sure, and you know, uh, typical things like that. But when a case to me is especially as high profile, usually that probably prison is going to be on one of their best behaviors, you would think, and if not, they're just stupid. But I don't think that he's lacking what other people do. Kind of like what Andrew Best said when he was on the live, that he's being dealt with the way others would be dealt with in the same way. You know, but do I believe that there's a lot of corruptness and stuff going on in those systems? Absolutely. Absolutely. We've watched enough of those undercover freaking jail prison shows, haven't we? This is where I guess that I miss Blaine so much for this type of talk, for sure. No, he didn't seem heavy, moved very easy, quick at his job. Yeah, because he was like more fit and in shape, you know. Like you could see that he had put on weight at some point there, smoking his cigs and got the freaking six pack, beer belly going on. Um, hey Alexa, welcome back. 7:27 my time. Seven, so 8, so 3.5 hours. Okay. Sunny, you would true. Thanks, Outback. Um, give him some boots and it would make him 5'7". Yeah. So that's why, like, you know, Ron Logan, some guy that's over 6 foot. Sure. Okay, he's the BG. You know, Ron Logan, as fit as he is from going up and down that thing, and I think didn't he say that he was like scared? Like, he's not a heights person or whatever. Anyway, okay, I'm actually over the whole Ron Logan thing, to be honest with you. Uh, People can talk about it, but I don't really feel like talking about it myself. Besides, when I bring it up, they have to say felony murder because that's the only evidence placing Alan at the scene is one piece of circumstantial evidence, right? And remember, the whole thing is that they're going for like kidnapping, right? Because that's where they could feel like that's obviously the strongest route to go, or probably. Odinism and F on the tree have been around since the beginnings. Yeah, like I mean, I haven't been following the case since the beginning because I wasn't into crime for those people. Freckle Joy, I'm not sure if you started from the beginning, like I know a lot of people have, like Brenda and stuff like that, and Deb. Um, like I said, just I know from the last 3 years for sure. But some people, man, that's stamina right there, following a case for this long. But once you kind of attach to a case, and it's goes at your heartstrings, it's hard to let go. Um, I'm a true believer in innocent until proven guilty. Well, yeah, it's just again, people are innocent until proven guilty, but obviously there was a reason to arrest them in the first place, typically, or else they wouldn't have been arrested. Um, so to me, if it's innocent until proven guilty, but yet you're sitting in a jail cell, how innocent really is that, right? That's what makes that sentence funny to me. Innocent until proven guilty. I remember there was a lawyer that said precisely my thoughts about it, and he did a really good job of saying, well, it's not really innocent until proven guilty. Because obviously, he said something like that, like, obviously, you're in jail because there was enough reasonable reason to arrest you. So, but he said something like, but we say it's innocent until proven guilty. He said it way better than what I'm saying it. And that's the truth of the matter to me, because if you're innocent to me means that you're not sitting in a freaking jail cell. But I do believe that, through the course of justice, that that the proper people are being sent to prison, you know, but we've seen many times where they do get it wrong. I think more times they get it right. Um, but there's times when they get it wrong. And then somebody literally, like, could you imagine that, you guys, yourself? Being falsely accused of something and then being found guilty, knowing full well, like you must feel like crazy. Like you must feel like you're a Looney Tune because nobody's gonna believe you. You know what I mean? like no one's really going to believe you because they found you guilty. And so when somebody says, well, no, I'm innocent and I didn't do it, people are like those stupid car horns, like, yeah, shut up. Sure, heard it before. Right, you guys are all innocent, you know. That would play on the head there. I would feel like I was third person coming out going, what the fuck? Ron Logan have been that fit. He's dead. Yeah, he's kind of probably a bunch of bones now, isn't he? Sonny, have you seen the dump video? Wait, have you seen the dump video? The same day, dude looks like he had a spare tire for Bigfoot. He wasn't fit. He was way too fat to be BG. Are you talking about Ron Logan? You talking about the video Fake put out with Ron Logan at the dump? That's what you're referring to. Then yeah, I seen that the day Fig put that out. I think that's what you're talking about. Hey Marion, how are you? Hi Patricia Burns, how are you? An hour before. Innocent until proven guilty is a cornerstone of American justice system, guaranteed in the Constitution. Like what I just said, though. If you're so innocent, then you shouldn't be sitting in jail now, should you? Right? You would think that would be innocent to me. So that's why to me that whole line is a crock of crap. Innocent, because like I said, innocent, but you're sitting in jail waiting to go see a judge. Then you have to go to a trial and stuff like that. So how to me that doesn't make sense in my head, saying that you're innocent. You might, like, I get it in the words, you're innocent until proven guilty by a court of the peers. But to me, if you're innocent, you wouldn't be sitting in jail typically in the first place. That's why I have a hard time with that sentence myself. A lot of people have a hard time with that sentence. I mean, it's the same thing in Canada. Yeah. Same thing, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I just find that sentence just weird. Just for the fact that you're sitting in jail going, well, I'm innocent. Let me out. Makes no sense. All of this new info with Ari's demeanor during the hearing smacks of contrivance to me. Maybe 400 years ago, Odin's may have sacrificed using. Well, yeah, totally doesn't make sense either. Again, I mean, even when you look back in the Vikings, and it was like rare that, say, a human, like, okay, you always know that there's these radical people out there that claim to be something. I think like kind of like the Odinists and stuff like that, and like other cultures or cults or whatever, that you have your good ones. I think Patrick Westphal was talking about it as well. And then you have I think he said something like whatever they were called, but it's kind of like your darker, Odinist in a sense. So it's like he had nothing to do with. I think that there's always those people, but if Richard Allen is a lone wolf and all this stuff, like I said, this would have to be somebody that had some sort of freaking fantasy to think about this and decide that they're going to put it into action, and that they're going to contrive it. To me, like I said, this has nothing to do with Odinism to me at all. Bunch of crap. But that there was a misdirect in there. And maybe, who knows, maybe there wasn't really a misdirect. And that's just what the police thought, that it was a misdirect. Maybe it was just sad attempt at somebody thinking that, maybe he was into freaking looking at some sort of ritualistic thing and, sacrificing some two young girls that somehow would bring him some wealth and some holiness and some better life. I don't know. I mean, what else would there be then? With Richard Allen, like, what else? It's just middle of day, zoom on by, you let people see him even tell people he was there, you know. Yeah, I was there and wore this, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I had on a black or blue Carhartt jacket. I don't remember which one. I'm pretty sure I had on a cap as well, you know. Oh, but hey, I was just looking at fish. Still blows me away. Like seriously, 6 years goes by, you know. But look at Karina McClurkin. All they needed to do was go pick up that rug, right? Uh, freaking lazy, freaking lazy cops, lazy, not doing their jobs. Sorry, but hi, Sin. How are you? Good morning. Some judges are pedos. Not most. Well, we know Judge Fouts isn't exactly a promising. I mean, all you have to do is look at Judge Fouts, and that right there should tear most things down, to be honest with you. There's corruptness everywhere that goes on. You know, doesn't really matter what it is, but it's just, I just find it really pathetic when these people, they're supposed to be role models and examples, in these higher powered positions. And yeah, they're, screwing somebody else's wife or, you know, um, doing a bunch of corrupt crap. Look at the Rex Heuermann case, yeah, you know, with the cop from back when this all happened and stuff like that. So that shit happens all day long. I was literally actually watching. I like to watch a lot of those shows that have body cams and stuff like that. And I was literally watching one when, of course, the person that did the car crash, he was drinking and driving and on DUI. And it always gets me because I guess these idiots don't feel like their videos are going to make it out to like YouTube land, because all you have to do is request the body cam footage and stuff like that. And they're literally basically talking about, you know, because the body cams are on, but you know how you're kind of code talking a bit, and it's just like, like, so is your body cam on? Or is it on? I think it was said. And I was like, dude, I already know you're talking about the body cam, moron. But, you know, you could just see like when they were talking that it was like, okay, so I guess we're gonna need to get you out of this mess. So yeah, we already have the plan, but they're talking almost like trying to talk like code. But I'm just like, and then you see that, right? And you're just like, oh, so if this was any regular citizen, a whole different story, but this is one of your own. So now you're trying to do this drunk cop favors, even though he wasn't in his cop car, he was in his personal car. But bottom line, he was a drunk driver. And it's no different than a teacher going to school drunk. You're going to lose your job. It's that simple, because you literally are showing that, people that you're supposed to look up to, so is drinking and driving. Everything that, you know, goes against what you're supposed to do. You got police officers drinking and driving and whatever. Um, it's amazing to me about the judges out there. I'm still curious about that judge where his wife and daughter were killed. I remember that because I brought that to the attention. That's one thing I'm going to claim because I was like so on that story right when it happened. And I was like, so it was very interesting to find out that she's the one that did the polygraph, because right when I saw that story break, I can't remember what news channel. Anyways, when you get a notification on your YouTube, and then all of a sudden I look and I see that, and I'm like, what the heck's going on with all these judges dying or corrupt and this and that? But this was like the wife and the daughter in broad daylight. A fire happens and they both perish, and you're like, you feel like it's not just an accident. But I remember, I think, well, someone was supposed to look into it for me. I forget who it was, but I think it's like said it was like undetermined or something like that at the time. I don't know if it's still classified as that. And I'm like, come on, there's something more to this. Like, really, what's going on with all these judges? One fucking underneath of a car, you got Judge Fouts and this other judge. admitting, like, well, the other judge admitting to, like, getting favors from females, and you get Judge Fouts caught on camera with Tiara, and stuff like that. And then they let him step down, and instead of like resigning or whatever, well, they didn't let him, resign and step down. And they literally, right, like, should have been gone. No. And that's just a bunch of corrupt shit. Anyway, so you knew something was going on. So I find it very ironic how the mother is the one that did the polygraph test, and the one that did the one for Flora, and I guess on Elvis Field's sister. Is that how it went? Something like that. Anyways, it's funny how things kind of can come around like circle like that. Morals are up for plebs, not the elite. Are you talking about the guy that hit on an old man? What? Are you talking about the guy that hit the old man in the dark? No. No, I think that's a different thing you're talking about there. Sees amazes me how drug users get more. Oh, sometimes I'm shocked by the sentencing, honestly. Like, honestly. Sometimes I'm flabbergasted by how some people can commit, murder, and then, they can barely get like, oh, here's your 8 years. What? 8 years? You literally took someone's life for a life, and then you could be, it just amazes me just when you see the different sometimes sentencing that going on. And I guess that's, like, you think it would be kind of more consistent, but it's kind of like in this state it's this way, in this state it's this way. But when you see, like, sometimes someone that does like say SA charge, and they get more time than if someone that committed murder and stuff like that. Hi, true crime fangirl. Let's see here. Anyways, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to be back in 1 second. If there's anything else you want to talk about in chat, feel free. I'm going to go with another probably 15 minutes, and then I'm going to head off. And then I have like 3 hours. 3 hours. Anyways, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourself. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll play something for you. I'm going to play this. If you guys are watching the Ruby Franke case, Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt, the 8 passengers thing or whatever. Maybe I'll just quickly play that. Let's see here. Find that one. I got a few things open here. I think it's this one. Okay. Stop screen. Oop, that's not stop screen now, is it? Probably go heat up my coffee because I totally forgot to drink it. Share screen, Windows. Nope, I want this. And we'll watch that. And I'll hit play.
American Fork Police shows how officers were able to locate 2 of Ruby Franke's children on the day of her arrest in southern Utah. From our previous reporting,
I'll be right
we're the
back,
very first to tell you how officers scoured Utah County that day looking for 2 of Ruby Franke's children after the other 2 were located in southern Utah in or near Jody Hildebrandt's Ivan's home, malnourished and emaciated. The video we're about to show you is from the home of a 3rd member of Hildebrandt's business. It's called Connections Classroom. Although American Fork Police redacted this video, we spent a lot of time today, took some additional steps to ensure the privacy of the children involved.
We had a agency assist out of St. George in Springville.
On August 30th, American Fork Police responding to the home of Pam Botcher to try and locate 2 of Ruby Franke's children the day Ruby and Jody Hildebrandt were taken into custody in southern Utah.
Just put your hands in front of you, okay? Just going to place you temporarily under arrest, okay?
In 2 body camera videos obtained by 2 News, officers placed Botcher in handcuffs and took her to the back of a patrol car and waited for Springville police to arrive.
There's a warrant to take them into state custody. A couple of them are found, yet malnourished and bound.
In the meantime, officers tried to get a better understanding of the situation, which spans from Utah County to Washington County.
Is Ruby Franke's daughter.
Okay.
She's a friend of ours. She comes over and helps me every once in a while to do cleaning and stuff.
Because she knows her mom. She's very good friends with her. Has known her for a long, long time.
Pam was handcuffed for roughly 50 minutes. That's when Springville police officers started speaking with her about the Franke children.
So my friend called me and she said, hey, I have a family emergency. I'm going to St. George.
A DCFS worker arrives as officers try to clarify a time frame from when Ruby Franke called Pam and apparently told her where she could find the two children spread across Utah County.
Ruby contacted you around noon and said that they had
Around it. I don't know if that's exactly.
Minutes later, the DCFS worker asks how Pam knows the family, to which she confirmed our reporting about how Ruby, Jody Hildebrandt, and Pam all worked through Jody's business.
How did you start to know the family? How did you guys meet?
The Franke family?
Yeah.
Through a program called Connections. It's a kind of a life skills type of thing.
Pam walked with the officers and DCFS worker back to the front of their home, where they told the children that they were either to stay with their older sister or be placed into state custody with a foster family.
You want me to go get your stuff? You guys come and get your stuff. During the entire 90-minute stretch of when officers arrived to when the two children were placed in state custody, officers had a really difficult time getting information about the situation and relaying that to Botcher, her husband, and others involved. For example, there are even mentions in this body camera of Ruby and her husband in custody at that time. To our knowledge, Kevin Franke was not in custody that day. Here's another clip from the interaction between officers and Pam trying to make sense of all of this.
So just to make sure I'm understanding all this correctly, Ruby contacted you around noon and said that they had
Around it. I don't know if that's exactly.
That's your best guess.
Said she had a family emergency.
And needed you to pick up the girls.
Yeah, she said, would you mind watching the girls while I'm gone? Because she was leaving. I said, yeah, I can do that because I need some help cleaning.
Okay, and then did you say to bring them to your house for today and then take it back home tonight, or to keep them here for a couple days?
She didn't say. I was just planning on bringing them home tonight. Shortly after, the DCFS worker comes over to ask Pam about how she really knows Ruby Franke. She brings up the business Connections Classroom. That's the business Jody Hildebrandt ran. We've done a lot of coverage on this. Here's the interaction when asking how Pam knows Ruby Franke.
What type of things do they do with the program?
It's like life skills, like learning how to, it's like be honest, responsible, and humble. Those are those three pillars of their program.
Okay. Is there like a meeting place where you guys met, or is it kind of a virtual
No,
thing?
it's online every Saturday morning. It's called Empowering Joy.
Okay. How long have you known them for?
Oh, geez.
Ish.
Probably, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I didn't know her really well because she was in the program, but I didn't really know her. But I've known her probably really well, maybe 3 years.
Is this like a program that she started, or is it just one that she kind of?
She's just a part of it.
She's just part of it.
No mention of Jody. You may remember from my conversation with Jesse Hildebrandt about a month ago. Pam and Jody have been friends for a very long time. We've been covering the 8 passengers case extensively over the past few months. A number of folks have been speaking to those who say they have been impacted by this in some way. And it may have been a while since we've talked to one of those individuals because the courts have really.
That's good enough for that. Yeah, you spelt it wrong, but Tamazin. It's something like that. Tamazin. Yeah. Reichels or something like that. Tamazin. Yeah. As soon as you said that, Tasman, I'm like, Tasman devil? Well, probably, I don't know. Either way, so that was the case to do with, like I said, they had I think it was court yesterday as well, if I'm not mistaken, that they were in court. I've seen part of that. Very messed up family. That's what I could say. I think I was watching this guy who has followed the case, from a long time ago. and follows it, and he was saying how that the dad wanted to have Sherry arrested, and he's saying that like she's pretty much the more sane one of it all, you know. Anyways, very, very loopy case. I can't handle people that try to harm children, because they got no place on this earth, to be honest with you. Like, it just bugs me. Where do you live, Cecil? I'm in Los Angeles. Patricia Burns, you're not wrong. I picked it as my name. I find that place fascinating. Name my cat Cecil. Cecil Hotel always reminds me of the one in Calgary, the dump. It was like such a garbage dive hotel. That's where the ladies of the night would be and go. That was like probably what like a Rex Heuermann would visit, to be honest with you. And then they finally tore it down, but it was such an eyesore of a slum place. And morning, Deb. Deb, I need to send you and Alexa the link still. I just reminded myself. First what I did wrong there was I set it for 2:00 in the afternoon, my time. And then I woke up this morning saying to my husband, oh, shit. I set the time wrong. I have to set it for 11 because it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so I had to do that. Sometimes I hate it when I do that, right? Because I'm always thinking Eastern time. And so I was thinking Eastern time in my head. And so, again, just to let you guys know, just to go back to that again. So there was an alert for the dog's paw. And the affidavit that was filed is confidential. So again, I'm probably thinking that, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes today. But it wouldn't shock me if documents are now confidential again, because there's always those bad apples out there. And if there's all these leaks going on and stuff like that, well, then sometimes these little privileges get taken away. So we'll see how that goes. So that was the affidavit filed by Richard Allen. And I'm not sure if you requested it, Deb, but I requested it as soon as it popped in this morning because I just was awake. And they said that it was confidential. What time is it? 7:54. So 8, 9. So 3 more hours, pretty much, Deb. Like I said, unless there's a lot of talk going on, I might start the live a little earlier if I see a bunch of happenings going on with Delphi and the news media. They are just a religious and lifestyle MLM con, right? The Hilder. It just like that whole connections thing, just always reminds me of like cult-like stuff for the brains. I just don't understand where, like I've been watching Super Nanny a lot. Like I've been watching like a lot of Super Nanny. I used to watch it a long time ago. And sometimes when I listen to what these parents say, like they're thinking, I'm like what hit you on the head when you were freaking, when you were becoming a parent? Sometimes they just say some of the stupidest stuff and you're like, are you too? And it's like this person's coming into your home because of your stupidity on, in a sense, being a parent. But some of it I understand, right? Like, techniques and stuff. But there's some things that they say sometimes I'm just like, really? Did you just say that? Or this one dad. I know that these shows though are from like back in 2005, but putting Tabasco sauce and stuff like that on a child's mouth, I just find that so absurd that people would do shit like that to their kids, to be honest with you. Like, how effective is that? Anyways, I'm in the UK, but I'd like to see the Cecil for myself. Yeah, that's the one in Los Angeles. I just remember when I seen that, like, I didn't realize, like, obviously there's Cecil hotels, I'm sure, in different parts of the world. Just like there's like when I hear of Richmond, Vancouver in the United States, I'm like, hey, Richmond, Vancouver, we have Vancouver and Richmond over here, you know. But so when I seen the Cecil Hotel, it just can't help but think of that dive down in there. Okay. Criminals were sacrificed to Odin. Huh? Huh? Yeah. That's exactly it, Patricia. You know, I can't understand people's mindsets, you know, at all. It just makes you wonder, like, sometimes that there are quite a few, you know, bricks short of a load. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I think that's, I didn't even know how long I've been on, but apparently it's been 2 hours and something anyway. But anyways, hopefully you guys will, you know, come back when we go live, and Alexa and Deb and Aspen and myself. And I think Adam, okay? Adam's tonight. We'll be back at, he'll be running about 10 or 15 minutes late, he said. So either way, super excited about being able to see this whole Delphi hearing going on today, and we'll just see what becomes of it, and then we can talk more about it. I told my husband we're having tacos today, but is it taco? No, it's Thursday, isn't it? We're gonna have tacos today, but you're gonna have to wait till I'm done the live. It's actually not an asterisk. An asterisk has 5 points, and the one on Abby only had 4. Hey, Grace. How are you? Again, you bet you guys are all looking forward to today as well. You know, it is exciting. It's like I don't know, it's like a moment in history for the Delphi case that we'll literally be able to see inside of the courtroom in the almost 7 years that this case has been going on. Yeah, I probably forget to thank the mods. I don't really have a lot of expectations on mods, to be honest, when they're in here. It's probably why I probably forget to thank them a lot of times, because I forget about the modding part of it on there. But yes, thank you very much, mods, for what you do. You know, some people have mods and they have like strictness to their channels and this and that. Maybe one day when there's like, you know, a couple 100K subscribers, and you know, it's easier for the mods to help out that way, but we're not at that level really. And you know, so it's just more like, yeah, you know, keep control of the trolls. But usually there's never enough people in the live to really, where I don't really see it. You know, it's not like the chat is like brrr, brrr. Oh, you know what? And if you guys haven't subscribed to Deb's True Crime Notebook, I'm sure a lot of you have, but if you haven't, Deb, I'm not sure what your hours are yet, but like, have you reached the 4,000 mark for hours? But in saying that, Deb's at like when I looked last, it was like 937 subs, 937, which is close to that 1,000. And so if you guys are not subscribed to Deb's channel, please do so in order to help Deb out to get to her 1,000. When Deb is fully, I'm not sure if, are you partially monetized right now, Deb? Well, no, it was hours you were missing anyway. I'm not really sure what your hours are at this moment, but yeah, some channels have a mod manager. Yeah, you know, maybe one day. Are you going to be a talking turkey again this holiday season? Yeah, I'll probably be a few things this holiday season. Yeah, you know, love Christmas. I just wish we could play proper Christmas music on the channels. Yeah, maybe I'll have to have Jeff come on and if he knows some Christmas beats or something like that. Yeah, I like having fun with that stuff. I'm just a big kid at heart, to be honest with you. Whenever my twin would say grow up, what for? You know, what for? YOLO, you only live once, right? I just couldn't imagine leading a boring life. That would be boring. We can be bored when we're dead. Yeah, so like I said, if you're not subscribed to Deb's True Crime, oh, there, look at, see, it says right there, sub to Deb's channel, see, on there. So if you aren't, like I said, help her out, eh? I'm just not sure, Deb, what your hours are at yet. Either way, like, hopefully you're getting there with those hours. But yeah, I'll be a turkey. I don't know what I'll be. I'll be probably an elf and Santa and everything at the same time. I don't know. I'm going to head off here in just a minute. Is there anything that anyone wants to say besides Sunny, you're so awesome. Sunny, you're beautiful. Sunny, you're amazing. Sunny, you're a bitch. Sunny, you're... Is there anything else that somebody would like to say before we go? If not, then I'm just going to go. Because I'm going to see you guys in a few hours anyway, right? Yeah. My husband, he hates it. No, I just don't want to say he hates it, but he's like, why are you singing Christmas tunes already? Well, it's because I kind of bypassed October because I'm too busy thinking about, yeah, I have a twin. And right now, I don't like her. Yeah. Me and my twin are so freaking opposite. Like, so opposite. You know, it's like having a, like, I love her and all, but honestly, it's the screen. First and foremost there. Late to the party. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Maureen. Okay. So let's see here. So any issues or concerns regarding the representation should be focused on the Sixth Amendment and Article 1's Section 13, rights of the accused. Continuity of counsel is critical for adequate representation. Article 1, Section 12 of the Indiana Constitution must also be given consideration. Mr. Allen has developed a strong and trusting bond with Mr. Baldwin. Disqualification of either of his court-appointed attorneys would greatly prejudice his right to counsel and a timely trial. Guess I probably should have read that part when I looked at it. I thought that it was just that same stuff from about the, when I looked at it, I thought it was that same stuff about the court and the media and stuff like that. So the Sixth Amendment guarantees that criminal prosecution, the accused shall have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment, whatever, the right to counsel of choice has been described as an essential component of the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. So the authority to remove appointed counsel is limited and has resulted in reversals in other jurisdictions, and then they give examples of other cases. Okay. And so this is page 2. Okay, page 2. Okay, what do we got here? A trial court may not remove a defendant's counsel merely over a disagreement regarding the conduct of defense counsel. According to the trial. So if this is coming, say, from Richard Allen's side, like it feels like something had to have been said that that I don't know why, but are you guys thinking like that Baldwin was told that, you know, he would be removed from the case, and this is like a comeback about why he should not be? Why is that dinging? That's a fun house. Okay. Is that what? Let me just say this right away. Just to go back to chat for a second. I don't know. Are you guys kind of thinking the same thing a little? Okay. Well, I'll go back to reading, but interesting. Disqualification of counsel is extreme remedy for an alleged or perceived violation of a court's order. Most, if not all, cases concerning disqualification of counsel involve conflicts of interest. There is no case allowing disqualification when an individual not part of the attorney's office or staff surreptitiously purloins, wow, those are some good words, information from the attorney or disseminates it without permission of the attorney knowledge. Okay, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap right there. You know, when you're in charge of your law firm, it's your job to protect your information. No different than a bank is to protect, you know, your money with a secure place that you can do business. So that's a crock of crap right there. Sorry, but like I said, if it's coming out because he had access to these photos because he was able to go in using a passcode or something like that, absolutely. Like, they didn't come from anywhere else. They legitimately came from the discovery that Baldwin has. So to me, that's a bunch of bullcrap. So this is what it seems like is happening here. So furthermore, any sanction first requires proof of knowing, willful or intentional conduct, or do the rules of professional conduct. Here's the attorney trust and office were violated without his knowledge. Okay, I want to puke reading this. Requires disclosure by an attorney, not someone that purloined. Well, that's a word I've never heard of. Information without the attorney's knowledge. Commentary 16 that rules state a lawyer must act competently to safeguard information relating to the representation of a client against inadvertent and unauthorized disclosure by the lawyer or other persons participating in the representation of the client or who are subject to the lawyer's supervision. See rules, blah. Okay. The disseminators do not fit the definition. Attorney Baldwin did nothing wrong. He was snookered and abused. Oh my goodness. Snookered, like we're freaking playing a game of pool here, I guess. Which reversed the conviction because the trial court erroneously disqualified counsel when the accused has waived any perceived conflict. We note at the outset that defense counsel was disqualified in response to the state's motion and not in response to the defense request for substitute counsel. Where it is the government which moves to disqualify defense counsel, the burden is on the government to show that any infringement on the defendant's choice of counsel is justified. Blah, 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 cases for the proposition that the Sixth Amendment right to counsel of choice reflects the constitutional projection. Oh, I wish they'd dummy down some of these words for me. Of the defendant's free choice, independent of concern for the objective fairness of the proceedings. Okay, come on now. The trial court reconsidered its earlier ruling and granted a continuance, while it denied the defense's attorney's request to withdraw. And I've never heard of this one either. It sua sponte removed. Is that just a typo? I don't know. It sua sponte removed them from the case because of insulting and absolutely improper remarks about the court in their motion to reconsider. The court appointed 2 new attorneys to represent Jones and ordered that the removed attorneys turn over their case file to the new counsel by April 13th. The trial court also referred to the motion to reconsider the disciplinary commission. The Knox court also stated that this court is generally of the view that the trial court is limited in its authority to remove a criminal defendant's court-appointed counsel. However, the court finds it unnecessary to explicate the perimeters of the authority here. This is because of Carnahan and Dillon had affirmatively requested that they be allowed to withdraw as Jones counsel if the relief they thought was not provided. And then the last page here. Sorry about the dinging. That's my Funhouse family, the UK family. The issue. Okay, I'll turn you off for a minute. It's just that I always forget to turn my phone back on. It's usually always off. That's why I never hear it. The issue before the court is a horribly tragedy created by persons not related to the defense of Mr. Allen. There were 3 disseminators, one which committed suicide after the law enforcement investigation began, referring to, of course, Robert Kyle Forston. It should be considered that nothing had been disclosed that won't be disclosed at trial or hearings. It should also be considered that there have been volumes of information disseminated by law enforcement and or others, not all linked to the defense team. Mr. Baldwin trusted a friend to respect his office space. He was betrayed. Well, again, not the friend's fault, really, is it? Since that transgression, Mr. Baldwin has kept all Delphi-related items locked in a room or locked in a fireproof cabinet. Furthermore, so because he's saying that Mr. Baldwin trusted a friend to respect his office space, so were they going over the case and talking about it as friends might do? And he left the room and took some pictures. It sounds like this is more of an in-office thing than more of him accessing a portal, is by this wording here. Furthermore, defense counsel has put together a plan for curative action in which no items will be left unattended for even a second in any unlocked room. Okay, so it looks like shit is hitting the fan. When any documents or item from the case is needed for preparing the case, the person using the document or items will either lock the documents in a room or the items to the room dedicated to the Delphi case and lock the door. As Mr. Rossi indicated, there are a vast amount of trial preparation materials, and it would be a setback to the defense to have to relocate them. Under these circumstances, Mr. Baldwin has taken sufficient curative action. Should the court believe there should be a sanction to the court order, or the court could order to 24 hours of representation. Okay, should the court believe there is should be some sanction, the court could order to 24 hours of representation without compensation. Respectfully submitted, David R. Hennessy. Okay. So. Oh, thanks, Miss Dog Lover. I didn't hear the thing go off at all. But, okay. So, what do you guys think of that? I'm amazed nobody actually has said anything. You guys everyone probably left them and then I started bitching about my twin. Whoops. Nobody has anything at all to say? 32 people have got nothing to say? Purloined is taking without asking. Thank you. Oh, coffee and grips. I think there was a lag there or something too. The defense. I'm gonna have to reboot my computer before, because it needs an update. Miss Dog Liver, so it's probably needs its update so that StreamYards will work properly. Fear not, I am here. Thanks, Miss Dog Lover. Patricia Burns, Perlin is. Oh, there it is. Let you down, never gonna rain Yeah. Oh, echo.
Thank you. Fear not here. Heart.
So I guess it was fun. You have to sing "Never Gonna Give You Up." Yeah, you heard my vocals there. I didn't get a notification. Yeah, not sure why, to be honest, because it's not like I had done 3. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you probably didn't for this one, perhaps because this was my 4th one within 24 hours, and YouTube does like 3. So anyways, but nobody's saying anything. What do you guys think about this? Because this here, these documents is basically the judge. So, you know, this to me, if I'm not mistaken, seems like Baldwin is getting ousted from the case, and that this Hennessy is representing Baldwin, you know, at the hearing today. That's what Adam was saying, I believe. Okay, come on, Facebook. Stop being, I don't know why Facebook is being a piece of shit. For some reason, when I open up something, it just sticks. It doesn't let me close it off at the X. It just sticks. But that's a Facebook issue. Hennessy will be representing Baldwin in a limited appearance during the hearing today. Borders and see what they get away with. Yeah, I know. Who doesn't? I personally, I've always enjoyed that song, Rick Astley. I think my boss is a complete. Oh, absolutely. Feel free to let it out. Yeah. Yeah. Out of the 32 people in here, put 1 if you actually enjoy your job. And if you enjoy your job because you're just a stay-at-home person, that counts too. If Baldwin shared with a friend during a gag order, he should be taken off the case. Well, that seems to be what's happening. Like I said, what Adam, had been saying. So we'll see what comes out today because, this was the word on the street, we'll just say, was that he was going to be removed from the case. And I'm sorry, but again, you cannot, everyone has to be accountable, right? And so that's why it pisses me off when at the end of the day, the information was not protected while his friend was there, because let's just say Baldwin had no clue that his friend took the pictures, and then handed them off, right? So let's say Baldwin had literally nothing to do with it. Doesn't matter, Baldwin. At the end of the day, you left your computer available for this to happen. That's the bottom line. So again, it's kind of like when I was being general manager of a hotel, the people you hire and how you run it is your responsibility. You can't blame other people for your own things, even though you might not think it's fair, but that's the consequences of stuff when you, like I said, you work in a law firm. This is confidential information, and yet it's able to be accessed, by the friend. Doesn't matter. It means your computer was not secured, because if you've left the room, then you should be putting in, having it on lock mode, basically, because there's confidential information. So this seems to be the course of action, is that Baldwin has told that he's not going to be on the case just by reading this, that he will no longer be of service, and that this is from, like I said, the Hennessy guy, basically saying, like, this is obviously the motion replying to obviously what had happened. So that would mean that Espen Connor was right. So let's see what happens, though, right? We'll see what happens. Because right here, this sounds like a bunch of sucking up and showing cases and sucking up, saying he was snookered. What a snookered and abused, I believe it was. Wasn't that the words that was used? Where is that word? Where is it? There's the word snookered. Was it on this page? Oops, I'm making it bigger. There's that word. No, it wasn't page 2. Snookered. Come on, it had to be. Oh, it's probably this one. Snookered. Attorney Baldwin did nothing wrong. He was snookered and abused. As if we're playing pool. I would rather work some friends to steal pictures and then post it. Well, it's not that he posted it as much as he sent them to other people to disperse them. But, Baldwin might not be so innocent here. We don't know. For all we know, like I said, with all this leaked footage going on, it's kind of like, hey, take a few of these pictures and, get them out there. You don't know, right? Yeah, isn't that hilarious? Attorney having another attorney snookered and abused my butt. 8:39. Well, today should be interesting then, guys. I think it will be more interesting than what maybe we might have thought coming out of it. But so we'll see what happens. And I feel like some people might owe Adam an apology that posted on his video a couple weeks ago being trolls or whatever. Okay, you know what? Here, I'm just going to pop off to the side for a second here because I am going to get going. It is 8:40. The live is in just about a little over 2 hours. I feel like I'm blurry. I feel like I need to brush my hair. Probably need to brush my hair. Anyways. Okay, I touch one thing and everything else falls off in my basket. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see you guys in a couple of hours, and then we're gonna rock and roll and see what's going on with Delphi today and see what transpires in the courtroom. I don't think some people think and have brains about that, to be honest with you. I think that this person that did it wanted probably to show what. I think this person believes in the whole Odinism stuff. I'm blurry. I'm a little bit blurry. And that they felt like they were doing the right thing, when honestly, I don't think there's anything right about stealing crime scene photos of the girls and then putting them out there for any purpose, to be honest with you. Like, bottom line is like these crime scene photos, chances are we would not see them anyway, right? So meaning they might be, it's kind of like if you watch cases, lots of times they don't show you the actual crime scene photos. They'll cover it up so that the people there can see them, like the jury can see them, the defense and the prosecutor and the judge, and that they can see them, right? And the people that are in the court. But most times you will not see those photos being shown. It really just depends on how that court or what state you're in handles those type of cases. Some cases you look and they'll show the whatever. But even like with the Murdoch case, right? Like they showed representations of the bodies, but you weren't shown like the actual bodies, like you couldn't see it because it was kind of, again, covered up. So chances are that these photos, we would have never seen them ourselves. Just kind of like Gannon Stouts should have never have been sent out, but they accidentally were because whoever sent them out wasn't doing their, job properly, obviously. But chances are we would never have seen the actual crime scene photos that are out there. Well, for the people that have seen them, I should say. But just, I don't know. To me, it's just disgusting that a person would literally take Abby and Libby, like, is this how much the case means to you that you need to, either steal these photos or take pictures of them with permission or so, however it went down, Anyways, we'll see what goes on in a couple of hours, in a few hours to go. Right. I just, like I said, there's Miss Dog Lover, like there's all those different ways now. Like a lot of times you just don't see the photos. And I don't think we would have seen photos, but because this person has put them out there and we know that, a lot of creators have seen these photos because they've been passed around, that, like I said, and it will spread more over time. But I don't know. I just think that at the end of the day, that regardless, Baldwin is responsible for these photos getting out there because it doesn't matter. He was responsible for protecting the office and stuff like that. So, yeah. Oh, wait. I'm just going to check and see what Adam's sending me now. 2 photos. Okay, so this one simply saying, comes now David R. Hennessy and enters, limited appearance on behalf of Andrew Baldwin. Okay, on behalf of Andrew Baldwin. Comes now David R. Hennessy and enters a temporary limited appearance for Andrew J. Baldwin, appointed counsel for the defendant. Okay, so that's what Adam is just sending me right now. Then her sign. So I'm curious, and I'm thinking that Andrew Baldwin won't be in court today because David Hennessy. I don't know. Guess we'll find all out soon enough. Yeah. I mean, again, there's just common sense there, right? Common sense says that it just shouldn't have been done. But justice for Abby and Libby, that's what we want. Like I said, those photos were leaked, so there's no undoing that. Thankfully, they're not, I guess, across the internet. I'm sure, I wouldn't doubt it at some point that they will be by somebody. As time goes on, people seem to care a little bit less, perhaps, about the fact, because they'll think, well, he's been out here for a while, I'll just, I would think that most people wouldn't do it, but there's going to be somebody out there that probably will. But at the end of the day, we just want justice for Abby and Libby. Anyways, good morning. Okay, you guys, let's head off. See you guys in about 2 hours time. And then we'll see how today plays out, and then we'll have a discussion, of course, after that. And so, yeah, and it kind of an intense, exciting day with Delphi today of, seeing the court proceedings. And don't forget that there's going to be a 30-minute delay. According to Fox 59, now Wish TV should be covering it as well. Anyways, we'll just do it by YOLO, as the different news media pulls up the coverage, and so we can watch it and different thing, you know, then we'll play it. Okay, guys. So, Miss Dog Lover, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for always your love and support. And that being said, I'll see you guys in just a bit. Well, we'll see you guys in just a bit. Okie dokie, guys. So let me just find the outro. Okay, thank you guys for coming and joining. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.